Hello, my name is Mike from Prebuilt Manufacturing Incorporated, and today we're going to build the Treehouse birdhouse kit. Okay, so this is the little square one that looks like a diamond, and in your kit what you will have is your instructions, and you'll have 2 dowels, you'll have your nails, you're going to have your front, and then your 2 roofs. Then you have your all 4 of your sidewall pieces, right, and then your back. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to preset my nails into the fronts and backs. That's the easiest way to build these birdhouse kits. So you take your nails out. Now make sure when you're nailing these that you're not doing this on your mom's new granite countertops. So you want to make sure that you're nailing down into something that the nail can go down into and not destroy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a nailing pattern that I'll show you in a minute that will have to do with the sidewalls and how the sidewalls will fit. So right now what I'm doing is I'm nailing the nails with my fingers pinched together in a way that the hammer won't hit it and the nail will just slide through my fingers like that. So you want to make sure that you just tap the nails gently. Don't drive those nails and then drive them over and bend them over. Once they start bending over, it can get a lot more difficult. So what you're doing is you're putting the nails about 1/4 of an inch out from the edge so that when they go into the sidewalls, you'll hit the sidewall about halfway through the thickness of the sidewall. What I'll do is I'll show you on the front piece here when I do the same pattern as I just did there. I'll show you what I did with the nails and why. But just watch how I nail. Now always hold your hammer 90 degrees to the nail and feel, you can feel with your finger the edge of the wood there and where it's going to be about 1/4 of an inch in. I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into nailing. I'm just letting the hammer basically tap on the nail. It's a very easy going thing. These nails will drive right through there nice and smooth. So now what we have here is there's your front. So the 2 nails here are basically centered on your roof and they're about that far apart. That's for the roof support that will be nailed in behind. So it's going to hit that. Okay? And these guys here are a little bit wider apart on center because the bottom sides basically are much bigger. So you've got a lot of bigger area to hit. So what you'll do now is you're going to take the biggest of the 4. There's going to be 2 that are the same size. Right? Those are your roof supports. And then you're going to have 2 that are just a little bit different. One's about 1/2 inch shorter than the other one is. You're going to take the longest one. You're going to put the glue on it. Right on the edge like so. Just a quick line of glue like so. And you're going to pick one side or the other. It doesn't really matter whether it's this side or this side. But pick the best side. So I'm going to pick the best side out here. Right? And I'm going to use my stomach here, just to put that up against, and create a 90-degree connection right on this wood. So you're making sure that this bottom corner here lines up with this corner right here. Don't worry about the gap at the top. The gap at the top is supposed to be there. I'll explain that in a second. So basically right down there, through there, and then this corner fits here nice. Now tap nice and square to the nail. Then you take the shorter one. Now the shorter one, pick the best side on it. The shorter one will fit right inside of that longer one on this side. Make sure this is flush here. Don't worry too much about this being flush down here yet. But just make sure that that feels good and that's nice and flush there. Hold that down nice and solid and tap that into there like that. So now you've got what looks like so. Now, one of the things I should have did, I guess, was put a little bit of glue here in between this joint. Okay, so in this case what I'll do is I'll just pull it apart a little bit, put a little bit of glue in there. So. And then one of the things you can do to make the kit stronger, they're only 3/4 inch nails, but it'll help guide it, is put your finger on that edge there, and then go ahead and drive one through here into that base. So now you'll have that solidified there. So then you take these two guys, and now one way it's obviously too long, the other way fits right in. These doesn't matter which side is facing out, because only the bird sees the inside and the roof is up against the outside. Nice and flush there. Just about in the middle. Doesn't matter, as long as you don't get too close to the top and you don't get too close to the bottom, you're okay. Nice and flush there, just about in the center of there. Then you have what looks like that. Now you can start with the other side too. You can do with the back first, but I happen to do the front first here. It's the same. It doesn't really matter which side you start with first. Now these are already stood up for you. Not too much glue, or it's just a big mess. That much glue is incredibly strong. The nails are only there, and I'm going to sidetrack here for a second. You'll see my wider pattern. You'll see my narrower pattern. The narrower pattern goes to the roof supports, and the wider pattern goes to the bottom walls. And then basically just drop it right on. As I was saying, the nails are just there to hold the birdhouse together until the glue dries. Once the glue is dry, it's incredibly strong. So I was looking at this edge here, so when I was nailing that, I was making sure that that's flush. And then down through here, I'm going to make sure that this is a little off here. So I'm just going to push that over there and line it up. And make sure that that's flush there. That one's a little sideways, so I'm nailing a little bit sideways to be able to make sure that one feels really good there. I can just feel it right off. So you've got now the body of the kit without the roofs on it. This is the time you want to take the sandpaper, sand everything all down so you like the look of it, and then you sand the roofs down separately too. You don't want to actually try to sand with the roofs on later. It's really difficult to get in all the nooks and crannies. So on this kit, you'll also use the table as a jig to get the roof correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down the fronts, zigzag pattern on there, and then glue down the back. And then you're going to note when you go to set the nails in the roof, approximately where that roof support plywood is. So you'll see that roof support there. So I know that if I put a nail in here, I'm going to hit that square. Right about there. I know I'm well inside that square. So those fit right on that. This guy is right here. Actually, one of the techniques is to use the table to square it up, but in this case, on this kit, all you do is just set it on top. It's actually a square that looks like a diamond. There. Now, when I go to nail on the next one, I'm going to take the lip of this birdhouse and I'm going to set it over the edge of the table so that this is nice and square here. Now, as I mentioned, that little gap there, that's supposed to be there. That's actually a soffit vent that allows the birds to be able to actually breathe a little easier so they get cross ventilation. So I'm nailing these nails in so I know that they actually fit inside of that square there. I'm going to set this on so that that part there is 90 degrees with that gap running down there, just 90 degrees exactly off of that other roof there. You set this over the edge of the table like that. Make sure this side's lined up here. So that's all done there. It's all sanded down. It's all finished there. And then for the dowel, basically just put a little bit of glue on the end of the dowel. Not too much. Just a little drop like that. And then you just spread it around. You put it up against the hole there. Just like that, straight to the kit. You just tap it. Give it about 2 or 3 taps and you'll see the little bead of glue there. Just leave that bead of glue. Don't even try to clean it up. It looks best if you just leave it like that. So then basically you're there, and then you just take this guy here, give it a decent bead here, so that, because there's no nails holding the top dowel in. Picking the best end there, like that. Let that dry. That'll dry off to an angle like that. Let that dry overnight and you get yourself a very strong little birdhouse. And you're finished.